Hey guys, it's day 6 in our reading plan, and we're moving on to the second book in the Bible, Exodus, chapter 14, the famous story of the Red Sea. So we're coming here. The Israelites are trapped in Egypt, they're enslaved there, and Moses is going to be used by God to draw them out. This is why we call this book the Exodus. Think of exiting Egypt, and that's what Moses is going to help the Israelites to do. Now, you can read more about this, obviously, in the first 13 chapters of Exodus, but for our reading plan, let's get to chapter 14. God said to Moses, I will harden Pharaoh's heart. Pharaoh was the leader of Egypt, and he will chase after you. I have planned this in order to display my glory through Pharaoh and his whole army, and after this, the Egyptians will know that I am the Lord. Now, here's why I mark this passage for you today. I want you to see that God is showing the world who is in charge. He's showing the Egyptians who's in charge. They're sort of the bad guys in the story. But then he's also going to show, maybe more importantly, the Israelites who is in charge. And then obviously, he's showing us all these thousands of years later who is in charge. Now, I want you to understand the situation here. The Israelites' backs were up against the wall or the Red Sea, and the Egyptians were chasing them down. And so here's what Moses told the people: don't be afraid, just stand still and watch the Lord rescue you today. The Egyptians you see today will never be seen again. The Lord himself will fight for you. Notice what they did. He said, just stand still. I love that. I mean, think about this. If you want to relate it to the way God works in our lives today, sometimes we just have to trust in God to act. And look at what God does. God is the one who is going to fight for them. And if you know the story, and probably most of you reading this have read the story. If you haven't, you'll read it in this chapter. But God parts the Red Sea. The Israelites pass through safely, and then it crashes down on the Egyptians who are chasing after them. And here's how this chapter ends. When the people of Israel saw this mighty power that the Lord had unleashed against the Egyptians, they were filled with awe before him. And they put their faith in the Lord and in his servant Moses. Now, I want you to pay attention to this pattern, because as you continue to read through this Bible plan, you're going to see this happen over and over. God proves himself. They put their faith in him until they don't. And I think we can all relate to that in our own lives as well. So go ahead and read Exodus chapter 14 and learn about the crossing of the Red Sea.